Hi, put on your sweatpants. It's time to do yoga. All right, so find a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you. So today's practice is just going to be a gentle flow, kind of moving all the different parts of the body, stretching, strengthening, lengthening, all that good stuff. Um, it's pretty beginner friendly, but if there's something that you need to modify, then feel free to do that. I'll try to give you options. And if you have been practicing yoga for a long time and you want to take it up a notch, feel free to take it up a notch. It's your practice. All right, so settle in, maybe close your eyes, take a deep breath in and out. We'll take a few rounds of Ujjayi breath, which is the ocean sounding breath. If you are familiar with Ujjayi, feel free to go right into it. If you've never practiced Ujjayi before, never heard of it, it's a really good breath for connecting your mind and body. And the way you do it is kind of like constricting the breath. So it's like you're fogging up a mirror, but with your mouth closed. So one way you can accomplish that is to put the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth and then inhale, exhale. And you might notice it sounding kind of like an ocean, which is why another name for it is the ocean breath. So go ahead and practice your Ujjayi or any breath that you would like, any pranayam that's calling to you. When that feels complete, you can return to your natural breath. Maybe open your eyes, noticing how you feel. And if you'd like to open your practice with me with a round of Om, bring your palms together at heart center. Take a deep breath in. Om. Om is the sound of the universe. Relax your hands and just start making some hip circles, rotating in one direction. Some other benefits of Ujjayi breath is that it promotes mental clarity, enhances memory, and boosts immunity. Who couldn't use some immunity boost this time of year? Go ahead and switch your directions if you haven't already. Take one more big circle, going back to neutral, and then we're going to stand up. So standing on your mat in mountain pose, so feet are about hip distance apart. Bring your shoulders up by your ears, relax them back and down. Let your right ear fall to your right shoulder. Maybe you extend your left arm out a little bit and getting a little bit more stretch on the left side of the neck. And then rotate your chest down to your chin, pausing there, letting allowing the back of the neck to open up. So the weight of your head is just pulling on those little muscles in the back of the neck. And then continue to rotate left ear to your left shoulder and maybe reach the right arm out to your side. You can always come back to Ujjayi breath, or just keep taking long breaths in and long breaths out. All right, and then we'll bring our head back to neutral, bringing your right hand on kind of the back left corner of your head and just stretch a little bit to the side. So it's kind of like that one part of the neck we haven't got to yet in the back. Just gently pulling your head to the corner and then release. And we'll do that on the other side. So bringing your hand on your left hand on the opposite side of your head and kind of reaching your ear towards your toes, your left ear towards your toes, left toes. And deep breaths. And release that out. Maybe you just take a couple of semicircles here. And come back to neutral, back into our mountain pose. Maybe shrug those shoulders up again, relax them back and down. And we're going to lift our arms up, maybe look up, and grab your left wrist with your right hand, and then stretch over to your right. Taking a side stretch. And return to center. Swap the hands. So your left hand is grabbing your right wrist and stretch over to the left. Good. Coming back to neutral, release your arms. And then we're going to bring our arms up, coming out of our shoulders, and twist to your right. I have to step forward a little bit here because I'm running into the wall. Maybe you can gaze back at your right fingertips. Big inhale. Exhale, release, twist to the other side. Breathing. And release that twist. Shake it out. So we'll do some half sun salutations. So I'm going to come to the top of my mat. Inhale, just sweep your arms up, looking up. Exhale, fold forward. Head and neck are last to arrive. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep it all the way up. And then we're going to fold right back down. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. We'll do that one more time. Exhale, sweep it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, mountain pose. Good. Pausing here in your mountain. Just noticing how it feels to start warming up the body. And then we're going to come down. So sweep your arms back up. Fold forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Bend your knees a little and step way back with your right foot. lower the right knee, coming into a lunge. So a low lunge here on the knee. And just check with your knee, make sure it's not going past your ankle, and that your knee and toes are pointed in the same direction. So if everything feels good here, you can stay, or you can sweep your arms up, lift up, stay here, or bring your hands together at heart center, lifting your chest even more. Stretching the right hip flexor. Take deep breaths. Inhale, lift your arms up if they're not there already. Exhale, come forward and down. Grab your blocks and shift your hips back for Ardha Hanumanasana. This is a half split. So you can keep your back long here, or you can round it. So if I try to go forward, my back rounds, and that's okay. It's just something you want to be aware of. But to keep my back long, I use the blocks, and I don't go forward that much. And I don't need to because I'm feeling a nice stretch in the back of my left leg. So breathe here a moment. Maybe as you're here, you can start folding a little bit deeper into the pose, or maybe you don't. Big inhale here. Exhale, come forward, plant your right hand and twist open to your left. Maybe you take some big circles, opening that shoulder, and then reverse it, going the other way. And plant your hand back down and bring your left knee to meet your right, coming into tabletop. So you probably know where we're heading. We're going to drop our belly and gaze up for Bithalasana, cow pose. And then exhale, round our spine, looking towards our knees. Marjasana, cat pose. Continue with your breath. Inhaling for cow, exhaling for cat, or you could reverse it. It's your practice. Good. Coming back to neutral, you're going to step your right foot forward between your hands. Coming into that low lunge again. Check in with everything. Make sure knee and toes point in the same direction. And your knee isn't going past your ankle. Stay here or rise up. Stay here or bring your hands to heart center. Lift the chest. Pointing your heart towards the sky. Maybe taking a moment to find gratitude. What can you be grateful for in this moment? Take another big inhale. Exhale, come back forward. Grab your blocks if you're using them, and then shift your hips back, straightening your right leg this time. Coming into that half split. So just taking notice if you've decided to keep your spine long or if you're folding and rounding your spine. Generally, we get more benefit for keeping the spine long. But sometimes it just feels good to round the spine. On an inhale, go ahead and bring your right toes back to the mat, coming forward. And then send your right foot back into, well, we'll go transition into tabletop. And from here, we'll go to plank. From plank, you're going to lower your knees and then lower all the way down your chest and chin. Slide your elbows forward, coming into Sphinx. Adjust however you need to. If this is too much, you can always lower down a little bit. And breathe. Stay here about 3 more breaths. When you're ready, bring your hands back to frame your chest. Lift up, coming back into tabletop. And then send your hips back, tucking your toes into the mat. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Maybe you pedal it out, bending one knee at a time. Fingers are spread wide. Palms are like suction cups. And relax your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, lift your right leg back behind you. Look forward. Step it between your hands. Rise up into warrior one. So drop the left heel at about a 45-degree angle. Bend into that right knee a little. And then bring your hands behind you, interlacing your fingers. Lift your chest. Inhale. Exhale, humble warrior, bringing your right shoulder inside your right knee. And breathe. Inhale, lift back up. Coming back into warrior one. Inhale here. Exhale, hands come back down. Step back into downward facing dog. Lower to your knees and come into child's pose. Knowing that you can come into child's pose at any point in your practice. When you're ready, rise back up, coming into downward facing dog. Lift your left leg back behind you, three-legged dog. Look forward. Step that right foot between your hands. And rotate your right ankle down. Inhale up. Warrior one. Maybe adjust here a little bit because to me, warrior one's like the most awkward pose. And it can be challenging to get comfortable in this pose for me. Interlace your hands behind you, lift your chest, and then folding down your left elbow inside your left knee, humble warrior. Breathe. Inhale, slowly rise back up. And then bring your hands to your hips, step forward at the top of your mat. Coming into mountain, just noticing how you feel. From here, we're going to go into our balance posture today. It's going to be tree pose. If you have a favorite balance posture, feel free to take that one instead. Or challenge yourself and take tree. So again, we're in a nice steady mountain. All of our standing poses start in mountain. It's a foundation. And then you start shifting your weight just into your right foot, your right side of your body, right leg. Rotate your left knee open. This tree is really about opening your hip. It's not about getting your foot up as high as you can on your other leg. So rotate left hip open. And then you're in tree now. This is tree. If you would like to slide your left foot up on your right leg, any amount, as long as you're not pressing into your knee joint, you are welcome to. From here, find your drishti, something to focus on that's not moving. Maybe you grow your branches. And we're here for a while, so get comfortable, breathe. If you fall out, it's okay. You get right back in. 3 more breaths. We hold the balancing postures longer because that's how you get better at them. And slowly lower your arms, rotate your left knee back in, and release. Shake it out. Okay, so other side. Coming into mountain first. Maybe you rock back and forth on your feet just a little bit. Find stillness and then start bringing your weight into your left leg. Rotate the right hip open. And then option to slide it up on the opposite leg, any amount. Finding your drishti, maybe growing your branches. Breathe. Three more breaths. You got this. And slowly release. Rotate your right knee back in and shake it out. All right, coming back to the top of your mat, we're going to go into our Warrior Two sequence. So maybe here you place your hands on your hips, step your left foot back and out at about 45 degrees. And unlike Warrior One, where your hips are pointed towards your right knee, we're opening up our hips so they're open to the side, and lift your arms, gazing over the right fingertips. Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. Flip your right palm so it's facing up. Lower your left hand on the back of your left leg. Reverse warrior. Inhale. Exhale, side angle. So here you can bring your right elbow on top of your right thigh, but being mindful not to dump all your weight into your right leg. To make sure we don't do that, you can just drop down. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Keep that right knee bent. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Maybe you use a block here. Shift your torso over the straight leg. Have a soft knee in your, or soft bend in your knee. You don't want to lock out that leg. So it's straight but not locked. Shift your torso over that leg and then drop down. And lastly, rotate your chest open. And breathe. If you need to have more of a bend in your right knee, then feel free to do that. Listen to your body. Inhale, slowly coming back up. Hands come to hips. Maybe you bring that block over to this side. And rotate your toes so that they're both pointed in the same direction. Hands come to hips. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold forward. Bring the crown of your head towards the earth. And then when you're ready, you can bring your hands down to the mat and breathe. Taking a moment here in this wide-legged forward fold. On an inhale, slowly come back up. Hands come to your hips. Rotate your left toes towards the back of your mat so you're in warrior two. On the other side, lift your arms up out of your shoulders, gazing over your left fingertips. Maybe you can bend into that left knee a little bit more. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, side angle. Being mindful here not to dump your weight. You can use a block. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Straighten the left leg. Shift your torso over the extended leg. Triangle. Trikonasana. Open the chest. Gaze forward or up at your hand. It's up to you, whatever's more comfortable in your neck. Beautiful. On an inhale, coming back up. Rotating your left toes in. This time, when we take forward fold, you have the option of bringing your hands together behind you, interlacing your fingers, and lift your chest. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward, reaching your knuckles towards the sky. Breathe. Inhale, slowly rise back up. Release your hands. And then it's your choice if you want to get a little spring in your knees and jump back together, you can. Otherwise, just bring your feet back together and we'll actually come down into tabletop position. So from here, just sit back on your heels for a moment. Or you can take child's pose, whatever's calling to you. The next pose is pigeon. So if you're familiar with pigeon and you know that you prefer the reclined version of pigeon, then feel free to do that. But if you want to join me in pigeon, we're going to come into tabletop and then tuck our toes from downward facing dog. Look forward and slide your right knee towards your right wrist and your right ankle towards your left wrist. Now mine does not get near my left wrist, and that's okay. So the more parallel your shin is to the top of your mat, the more intense it is. If your right hip is trying to fall down, you can place a block there. So if this feels good to you, you can stay here, or you can bring your elbows down to the mat and just rest here in a resting pigeon. If this isn't working for you, it's perfectly fine. You could try coming onto your back and taking a reclined pigeon on your back. So you would cross one leg over the other thigh and then hug that thigh in. And it essentially gives you the same stretch. And if none of these options are good for you, then take any hip opener or any pose really that you would like. Maybe you just go into child's pose. When you're ready, press your palms into the mat and slowly coming up. We're going to lift up a little bit so we can send that right leg back and just press the toes into the mat, stretching it out. And coming back into downward facing dog just for transition, sliding your left knee toward your left wrist, your left ankle toward your right wrist. So you might find that on one side you can go a little bit further than the other. That's perfectly normal. Stay here or drop to your forearms or elbows. Find a pigeon that's comfortable for you. If you're taking reclined pigeon, then you'll just swap which ankle is resting on which thigh and pull the opposite thigh in. Take some deep breaths here. Maybe you practice your Ujjayi breath again. Whenever you're ready, press your palms into the mat to lift up. Send that left foot back, pressing it into the mat, stretching it out. And let's all come into child's for a moment. If you're on your back, you can just hug your knees into your chest. Take this time to thank yourself for showing up today. On an inhale, slowly rise back up and make your way onto your seats. Extend your legs out in front of you. I'm just scooting back here so you guys can see me. And then press your hands next to your hips, almost pressing. So you're lengthening your spine here and you're pressing into the earth, almost like you're going to pick yourself up. So you're as tall as you can be. Flex your toes. It's a staff pose. It's a very intense seated pose. And then inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, hinge at your hips forward any amount. And then when you find your edge, release your hands. You can keep your spine long here, or you can round it. Breathe, allowing the stretch of the back of the legs. Inhale, slowly coming back up. Bend your right knee and let it fall out to the side. Coming into Janu Sirsasana, head to knee pose. So rotate your torso towards the extended leg. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, reaching for your shin, your ankle, your toes, whatever it might be. I have to keep checking my microphone because the last two videos I recorded did not record audio. I'm hoping this one is. On an inhale, slowly coming back out of the pose. Re-extend your right leg. Bend your left knee, let it fall out to the side. Shift your torso over the extended leg. Lift your arms. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Any amount is comfortable. Remembering to be kind to yourself. Remembering to breathe. Inhale, walk yourself back up. And bring both soles of your feet together like bookends, or like an open book, actually. Coming into Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. Maybe you wrap your hands around your feet and give them a little massage, thanking them for all they do for us. You can stay just like this, or you can fold forward any amount that feels good to you. If this is too much and you have blocks, you can place the blocks under your knees, and hopefully that relieves any pressure that's a little bit too much for you. We always want to check in with our body, make sure everything is feeling good. It's okay to be a little uncomfortable, but you never want to experience pain. So wherever you are in your Baddha Konasana, remember to take some deep breaths. And whenever that feels complete, feel free to come out of the pose, gently bringing your knees back together. Maybe you rock your hips side to side here. And whenever you're ready, come on down to your spine. Take anything with you that you're going to want for Shavasana. If you want to put on a sweater or some socks, now's the time to do so, or have them nearby. I like to support my head and neck with a folded blanket. So we're going to be taking about a 10-minute Shavasana. So keep that in mind before you come down. So if you are ready, join me on your spine. Knees are bent, feet on the mat. And then our hands cup down, palms are touching your mat, arms along your side. Bring your heels up as close to your sits bones as you can get them. And then pressing into your hands and into your feet, slowly lift your hips up off the mat into bridge pose. Maybe you walk your shoulders together behind you. And breathe. If you can lift your hips up a little higher, then feel free to do so. If full wheel is in your practice, feel free to take it, but use caution. 3 breaths. On an exhale, slowly coming down 1 vertebra at a time. And then release your shoulders. Maybe you windshield wiper your knees, just rocking your hips side to side. Extend your left leg long and hug your right knee in, Apanasana. Drawing your right knee towards your armpit. And then bring that knee across your body, coming into spinal twist, opening your right arm up like a T. Remember to take some deep breaths here. And return to center. Extending your right leg long on the mat, hugging your left knee in towards your armpit, Apanasana. And then drawing that left knee across your body, coming into spinal twist. Opening the left armpit up like a T. And release the twist. Take any poses that you need to before we settle into Shavasana, our final pose of the practice. It's also the most important one. It's an opportunity to soak in the benefits of our practice. So if you want any other stretches or poses before we release into Shavasana, go ahead and take them. Maybe you want to take Happy Baby. So reaching, sorry, my throat's all froggy. Reaching in the inside of your knees for the outside of your feet or ankles. I'm just holding onto my ankles here because that's what's accessible to me in this moment. You can rock side to side. And then release. Send your legs long on the mat, letting your feet fall open. Your hands can be out by your side, palms facing up, or you can place one hand on your belly, one on your chest. Take a moment now to get as comfortable as you can be so that we can hold Shavasana for a few minutes. Scan your body. See if you're holding on to tension anywhere. Take a breath in. Exhale. Let that tension go. Another big breath in. Let it out. Start bringing breath back to your body, taking a deep breath in. Let it out. Start bringing movement back to your body, maybe wiggling your fingers and toes, or rotating your wrists and ankles. When you're ready, rolling onto one side in the fetal position, symbolizing rebirth. And slowly pressing yourself up with your top arm, coming into a tall seat to close out practice. Bringing your hands together at heart center. Take a deep breath in as a community. And out. Inhaling for Om. May the long-time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. Thank you for your practice, and thank you for your presence. Have a wonderful day. Doesn't work.